Hi, I'm Reagan Bush from Chat Pile, and you're listening to WNYU 89.1 FM, New York.
I'm Luther Manhole. I play guitar in Chat Pile.
I'm Stin. I play bass.
I'm Captain Ron, and I play drums.
Now, I guess...
And these are all our real names.
Yeah, no, these are legal government identifications for you to go and steal.
Yeah, I vote under this name.
Sure. And you'd be voting in the state of Oklahoma, which
right.
I think you're the first band I've ever interviewed from Oklahoma. I find
Hell yeah.
We don't get a lot of people from the. I guess is Oklahoma the Midwest? Is that what it's technically considered? Is it the South? Is it?
People
It depends on where you are.
What do
you are in
all?
the state.
What do you all consider it?
Midwest.
It's kind of. I mean, technically we're the Southern Plains, right? But it's
Right.
like it's kind of like this weird middle ground where. If you're up in Tulsa, it's kind of more like in the northeast parts of the state. That's like definitely more of a Midwest vibe. And then when you start getting to here, we're kind of more like a diet Texas than anything. Because like Texas isn't really the South either. It's like its own thing, you know. Like Texas is Texas, so it's kind of like we're Texas is Canada.
It's like a perfect storm of the Midwest, the South, and the Southwest.
Yeah.
Sounds.
We rest at the nest, at the eye of the storm.
It's frankly, do you find yourself like fearing like natural disaster a lot over there?
It's like third on the list to be afraid of here.
Yeah. It is something that you live with here, though. I mean, all of us. Today is Saturday. 30 minutes ago, tornado sirens go off because they go off every Saturday at noon here, you know, for the test. And it's always been like that. Like, it's something you have in your mind, like growing up in Oklahoma, where every May there is a chance that your house gets destroyed. But, you know, it's just like people in the West Coast, they just live with earthquakes, or you live with blizzards in the Northeast, you know. It's kind of just... It sucks that ours is a death funnel of wind that just wipes shit out in like 10 minutes, but, you know.
I could use that sentence as a description of your sort of auditory presence. A death tunnel of wind that wipes shit out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you want to talk real quickly about sort of the artistic... I guess it would be easier for you to describe than for me to try to interpret. I want to hear you all talk about sort of the artistic direction and, I guess, guiding lines to how the band operates. Because I think that there's a lot to unpack there.
Randy, you want to take that one?
No.
Okay, I'll take
No way, guys. How the band operates?
You go for it, Stin.
I think the general artistic idea behind the band is we want to take kind of dumb guy, hardcore, metal, alt metal, that kind of sound, but twist it on its head a little bit and give it sort of a more artistic bent. Maybe kind of play with the conventions of that a little bit. I don't know, does that sound about right, guys?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started playing, like, it was Stin and I who first wanted to jam together. And we kind of, the nucleus we kind of had was like, what if we did like Jesus Lizard stuff, but if the Jesus Lizard was Korn? Like, what if you mix those two things? Like, weird, kind of silly, but messed up noise rock, but in drop A with, like, you know, in an Adidas tracksuit. You know, like, just mix those two things together.
The two things that those bands have in common, though, is like nonstop groove. So I think more than anything, the groove element ties all that together, you know?
Certainly. And you I think, bring out that groove well for a band that's operating in, I think, a genre that, or I guess not a genre, but a space that tends to lack groove and is sort of, I feel like a lot of extreme music went towards atmospheric and sort of like dissociative.
Yeah.
Where I think you guys bring a lot of that groove back, but still maintain that sort of personality that a lot of these other modern extreme bands, because I don't want to lump you, I think that I don't know, what do you think about being lumped into metal or noise rock or hardcore?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, I know we've joked around with this before, I think, and I did an interview where we were talking about how it's like...
Whoa, wait, who?
Ray Gun.
We'll strike that from the record.
I don't know. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's like that AXCX song. What is it?
Face it, you're a metal band.
Face it, you're a metal band. Like, we can dance around it, be like, oh, we're this like art, like post noise metal, with hardcore influences, with some industrial stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. We're just, it's just, I guess, metal. But
the other thing is that well, I say we're all. Actually, it's funny because half the band doesn't really listen to heavy music at all. It's mostly me and Luther. But that said, like, we're all fans of these different genres. So if someone who's way into metal likes our band, or someone who's specifically a noise rock guy likes our band, like, cool. Like, the more people into the party, the better,
It's mainly we just wanted to write some like groovy stuff, and I just happened to play guitar really sloppy, so it kind of just it just by nature turns into a noisy thing,
Going back on that point though, about half the band, I heard that at least, like, and this comes across that Ray Gun, your vocals are not sort of following the standard conventions of what I guess metal bands would be normally associated with. Can you talk a bit about like how you joined the band and the process for which you sort of came up with your vocal afflictions?
Well, I've just been friends with Stan and Captain Ron, who, I don't know if you knew this, but they're brothers.
Ooh, no, I did not know
brothers
this.
in the band.
Crazy.
Brother band.
We got a regular Black Crow situation over here.
Yeah, we're the new Oasis.
Sure.
For the modern age.
Or what is it? STP had brothers.
Oh, the DeLeo brothers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's we're the new STP for sure. But,
God, yes, just what I wanted to hear.
But no, I'm friends with all these guys, and they wanted to have a singer for their band, and I've always wanted to just be a singer. I play guitar and sing in a band, or I did for many years. I have solo stuff too, and so this is just sort of like a way for me to, I don't know, just kind of like do something different. But like, I'm coming at it from more of a like I'm into like Perubu is like one of my big time influences. I would say like David Thomas. I got to see them in Texas.
Nice.
With a couple friends a couple years ago, like a miracle show.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was ridiculous. And so that HR from Bad Brains, I'm more into like punk and post-punk and stuff like that.
Well, when
Public Image Limited, stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like, I'm trying to do that, I guess. I don't know. There's probably like a way better way to put this. But
well, Raygun and I had talked about for years, kind of almost as a joke, forming what we call like an American Nightmare band, which would be just basically like Big Black or something,
Sure.
Because like when you live in Oklahoma, you drive around, you see plenty of sort of the worst things that this country has to offer. It's like living in Oklahoma is sort of like living in Songs About Fuck. Something. It's like you live at and so we've always talked about doing it, and then just kind of like out of a weird coincidence, we sort of non-ironically formed a band like that.
Yeah, because I remember Stin and I had jammed, I think once. It was just him and I with the drum machine, just like trying to see if we could even play music together. Because these three, I mean, Stin and Ron are brothers, and Ray has known them for what? You guys have all known each other for 20 years, right? Like forever.
A long time. Close
to
20 years. Getting there.
I've only known you guys for a few years, so
yeah.
I was kind of the late arrival to this friend group. But Stin and I had jammed, and then we had a party at Stin's house, and Ray was there, and I think we kind of were just like, hey, dude, do you want to, like, go nuts and just be weird in over some heavy music or something? And I think you were just like, hell yeah, yes, I do. And then
I think he was just like, if you let me do what I want to do, then I will do it. And
which we do. I feel like we
you do, and it's fun when everybody's free to do what they want to. It's fun, and the band reflects that. Hopefully, it sounds like we're having fun. I hope it does.
I think it sounds like you're having fun, but in a very, like, manic sort of way. I think that you, like, I mean, I want to talk about the lyrics for a second, and just sort of like the artistic themes covered in, like, even your album or your EP title, "Remove Your Skin, Please." Like, there's a lot of mania and dread that I get out of. But I've seen videos of you performing, and it looks like you're having a lot of fun amidst all of this dread and mania. Do you want to talk about how those two sort of seemingly contradictory concepts come together?
Well, I don't know. I have a dark sense of humor, I guess, and I also have, I don't know, people have stuff going on in their life. It's fun to, this is hard. It's hard to answer questions seriously. Let me start rewinding. You know what? I don't know. I like horror movies. I like theater. Like I said, I've done music for a really long time that is extremely personal and stuff, where, like, some of the bands that I really like, especially early on, that I would try to, like, mimic or whatever, like Shoot, and like early Mountain Goats and stuff like that. Just like kind of like emotional bloodletting music. So this is an outlet for me to do kind of like Dallas Beltway is based on nothing. That's just like a story song that I made up that I hope you like. It seems like people like it, but like this is just like a really good outlet for me personally to go super dark, super theatrical, deal with real themes sometimes that apply to me personally, or sometimes are just, about real things, or amalgams of different stories or something like that. You know what I mean? So I
think it's a pretty good way of putting it, because a lot of it is just like, Crawl Space on the first EP is, as a story about a cop who fantasizes about wanting to eat people, or, Dallas is about, a guy who has taken the life of his kid and is dealing with it and stuff like that. It's like, that's not stuff that is in your life, but it's just, it's a story, I kind of like that it takes that angle too. It's kind of, like you said, it's theatrical without being like theater, it has just I don't know. It's an interesting way to do vocals, and it's different for the genre too. I feel like we've talked about before. We're not really doing the Satan and gore stuff. Even with a title like "Remove Your Skin, Please," like it's not really. We're doing more the noise rock stuff rather than the metal tropes.
Well,
I was going to say, not to put words in your mouth, Ray, but I also think that it's cathartic. While those songs might not be real stories, they're not too far removed from the sort of abject horror that we currently live in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Being able to scream about it, definitely feels better, I'm sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm not saying there's no meaning behind it at all. I'm just saying that, like, this is just sort of, it's just something different to do that I've been wanting to do. And it's fun. But yeah, the songs are really dark and stuff, and it is cathartic for sure. And I don't know what else to say about that.
You should mention too that when we write, I think every single song. For the most part, like Ray will come up with kind of like an outline, but he's improvising while doing the vocal takes, like while we're recording. So like he'll improvise it like a few different ways, like what you typically have, like a kind of like a theme, an idea you want, like this is kind of what I want the story of this song to be about, and then we do a few takes, and then usually just keep the one that sounded the best, and that's the one that you kind of commit to memory, which I think is a cool, unique way to do it too. It's kind of why I feel like our music sounds a little spontaneous too. At least with the lyrics, I think it works for us for sure.
Do you perform the songs the same way every time you rehearse and perform them, or do you ever take those sort of varying approaches that you may have thrown out in the recording, in the recording process?
I think, well, Ray, you for the most part when we play live, at least you're pretty much doing what we do on the records, right? I mean, because you.
Oh yeah, you just learn to mimic what you've done, and then you expound upon it. I mean, like I said, I've been playing in bands for like 20 years now. So, I mean, performing is nothing. Performing is so much fun. I can't wait to do it again someday.
Yeah, it's
the year 2024.
Yeah.
When music is back.
Perform, yeah.
Every member of the band has diminished lung capacity, but we're still trying.
Yeah.
You can't yell quite as loud.
Ray is in an iron lung on stage.
Yeah.
We use the sound of the machinery in our third LP.
Yeah.
Pitchfork gives it a 6.
It's just not quite, you didn't have enough 808 hi-hat kind of going.
Mm-hmm.
Which something I wanted to bring up before, because you mentioned Big Black. You're also a band that uses like electronic drums in this sort of context. Not in the same way, obviously, but Ron, I wanted to ask about your usage of a Yamaha electronic drum kit as opposed to the traditional sort of approach. Do you want to talk about how you came to that conclusion and how that sort of influences what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of started with just, I had a kit for, just practice purposes, and it was kind of easy for the space that we had to just use, and it kind of just worked for the sound, in general, because it's not like playing an acoustic kit to where you have dynamics and stuff that you can work with. It's real, just or it's not. So you kind of have to simplify a little bit your playing style, and I don't know, that kind of I feel that just lends itself to the style of music that we're doing, because I mean it's real groove oriented, and that simplicity just works. So
yeah, when we were first jamming, it was definitely we were using the electronic kit just because it was easier, and because we're jamming at Stin's house, and we don't necessarily know how loud we can be with neighbors. And I think after it might have just been after the first or second jam session with that, we were outside smoking a cigarette, just being should that just be what the band sounds like? Should we not ever use real drums?
I think a light bulb went off, and we were like, man, that sounds like Godflesh. We're oh, that's
yeah, it kind of just did. And maybe that's what we should do is just not program the drums with a drum machine like Godflesh or something like that, but get that sound, but still with live playing.
The real person behind it.
Yeah.
Real
So
heart
it's still
and soul in it, but the menacing tone of it.
Yeah, so it's not as perfect to a metronome as if we were programming it. It still sounds like a person playing the thing. And yeah, I think that really just early on worked for what we wanted to do, which is mix that kind of Godflesh, Big Black type stuff with this Corn or whatever.
Yeah, with Corn.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, do not underestimate. Godflesh is just proto corn, like straight up. People
Yeah.
may not want to admit it, but it is, dude. Like there are Godflesh riffs that are just corn riffs, like, and I'm here for it, man.
We are.
What? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to give this fellow some juicy gossip that we have been talking about covering a corn song. For
Oh, you heard it here first. Have you come to a consensus on which corn song?
I want to do. I have a consensus. I want to do "Proud" from the "I Know What You Did Last Summer" soundtrack. You heard it here first.
Yeah, sure.
That's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do their cover of "Word Up" that they did. I want to do a cover of that.
No.
I don't. I think that the best covers are the ones where you're taking like the most ephemeral songs by the artist and repurposing them. Can you talk
I really
about?
just want to cover a Bjork song.
Is Korn not
It's been done, Griff.
just new metal Bjork? Like the vocal inflections are not that far apart.
There you go. Hell,
I would love to do a Bjork song.
yeah.
I don't know why you brought that up. Just
Well, no, I just.
There's the helmet cover of "Army of Me" though. That already,
Yeah.
and I feel like that treads too close to.
That's true.
Anyway, sorry, we shouldn't be working out actual band politics here. On
yeah, what are we talking about right now?
No,
I wanted to mention one more thing about the drums. It's also a practical thing because we really want to keep as much of Chat Pile's operation in-house and DIY as possible. And having an electronic drum kit makes home recording a cinch.
Mhm.
If we had an acoustic kit, we'd have to pay someone to, mic it up and spend all this time doing that. Whereas, like, we can literally kind of a setting on the computer where we hit, record, and next thing you know, there's a Chat Pile album. So anyway, thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, that is a big part of it.
Do you think you'd ever try experimenting with other sounds? That I think that the drum kits that you use kind of mimic metal drum kits. Would you ever try implementing any sort of other triggers or sounds in that drum kit? And if so, what would they be?
Aaron,
We've talked about it.
Ron?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have we're going to be working on a soundtrack here coming up soon, and probably with that, we'll probably end up using a little more, kind of more atmospheric kind of sounds and stuff like that, bigger kits and things like that, maybe even more acoustic sounding things, as opposed to the.
I'd like to lean in some of the Nine Inch Nail-y kind of, drum sounds a little bit too. I know Ray's not a big fan of Nine Inch Nail, but
Well, we can do the drum sound. It won't be him singing. That's my issue.
yeah, no, we're gonna get Trent Reznor.
This is maybe the hottest take. I should never say this on a radio station, but all of his melodies. They're like the same. I don't know. I just don't like.
That's perfectly fine. You're entitled to this sort of opinion.
These guys are against me, and they have been ever since we've been friends. They've always been acting like I don't know what's what because I don't like Orchard the Pig. Well, my bad. I just don't like it.
I want to sample like those old Memphis like
Hip hop,
yeah, man. Like I would love
the
to have
super lo-fi,
super.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, I guess the short answer is yeah, sure. One of these days we'll probably get bored and start changing our samples.
Oh yeah, we need to have like crazy like banana peel slip sounds. Like, well, I think we're gonna get to that territory. I mean,
the Hanna-Barbera sound bank.
We'll have a morning zoo.
Yeah, like
a morning zoo soundboard.
It
says Baba Booey.
And like it's like a whoop, like a crazy, I don't know, just some sort of like Looney Tunes.
I could join as a shock jock.
Yeah. Instead of having a DJ like a new metal band, we have a literal DJ.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a great idea. Yeah, we added DJ like new metal, but it's just a guy, and all he does is play like toilet sounds,
Toilet sounds. He gives a tag up top before each,
Like
It's
prank
not
call each
like
song.
that. Enjoy by the Descendants is like their least popular of the big four albums for a reason.
Yeah, if we
Like,
did that, someone would.
we put toilet humor
kill
and shit. People would let. I mean, I would like it, and I want a Reagan Bush like select edition. Only I have it that has all that shit in it. But yeah, not for mass market.
That'll be on the collector's cut in 20 years at Best Buy. I guess with the COVID debacle, with this country's dire situation, what sort of like plans did you have that were thwarted? Did you have any tours or projects, or do you want to talk about those?
We had a ton of stuff. We had a week-long Midwest tour, and we were going to play the Caterwaul Festival in Minneapolis. Like Ron mentioned earlier, we are scoring an indie movie, and the filming for that got postponed for months and months. Gosh, what else, guys?
Plenty of other shows. I mean, we had, there's essentially a lot of shows. Obviously, got, we were pretty much packed all summer, and we were looking down the barrel of like, I don't want to say it's funny, but it's like at the beginning of the year we're like, man, this is going to be a really busy year for us. We have so much stuff going on, and now it has turned into we have practiced twice in 4 months because it just hasn't really been safe to get together. So,
and it still isn't.
It is what it is.
But we're doing what we can, and I would say
we're trying to be as safe about it as possible.
Yeah, but we just kind of can't do nothing is what we've decided. And I'll say this, like, despite all the canceled shows and plans that we had, the biggest bummer is that we just can't get together and write and record like we used to. It's literally put a half a year pause on any progress that we were making with new music. So, but
because we do write like that. We're not much of a, it's hard for us to write over like Discord or over the internet, we very much are a band where we have like a riff or kind of a song idea, and then we just kind of jam it out for a while, and that it's all very loose like that. So it's just not really the type of music that lends itself, or at least the way we write isn't very easy to do it over the internet. It's just it needs to be in person. Yeah. But we're getting back into it. We practiced the past couple of weeks and kind of been, I would say, borderline prolific in some of the stuff. We've definitely been able to assemble, some stuff that appear to be songs.
They've got a lot of massaging needed, but there's a lot to work with now. Hopefully.
With everybody stuck indoors, everyone is kind of in the whole country on the internet just kind of perusing. I mean, you're a band that I had discovered going through, the countless music that we go through when we go through our programming.
Yeah.
What is your take on like internet? I don't want to say internet music culture because that's both very vague and also just not what I'm trying to elicit. But like your stuff has gotten a lot of attention on websites like Rate Your Music, and Bandcamp. Do you think that, as a band that's at least as far as I'm aware, I'm not aware of any other bands in the Oklahoma City local scene. What is your take as a band coming up through the internet versus in your own local scene in the way that you have? Because I think it's very unique, the way that your band sort of popped up on the internet.
I can take a look. Well, I'll just say.
Also,
you guys
feel free to shout out any bands in the Oklahoma scene because I'm not at all aware. I'm very ignorant as a New Yorker, a Northerner.
Yeah. Well, as far as the scene goes, well, I don't know. There's so many ways we can go with this, but
shout outs to Inferna. Shout outs to Without Empathy. Those are two cool bands.
Yeah.
The Tooth. Shout outs to The Tooth.
That's the thing with the local Oklahoma scene. There's not.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Is it Drudge? Is it Drudge or Druge?
Drudge? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's, well, it doesn't live there anymore. But yeah, they're a really good band.
I don't know. For us with...
No, you go.
All right. I don't know. For us with the internet thing, it's just like, it was weird because when we were starting to write, like I'm pretty active on RYM. Like I've used RYM for rateyourmusic.com. I've used it for a decade or more, and I've been active on there forever. And when we started doing this band, I am in a few like music discords and stuff like that. So I think a thing that really helped us actually have people listen to us is like when we put out that first EP, a lot of people like in these music communities I'm in online liked it and then added it to RYM, and then so like instantly we had like 100 people rated on RYM, which for like a just a no-name band is a lot for that, like for that website. That's like a lot of ratings, and like kind of it like actually made it go up the chart because there's like a weekly chart that is on that website of showing like the top music for the year for like LPs or EPs. So that got to the top of the EP charts just with like 100 ratings, and then that just let more people see it. So it was kind of like this weird thing where since I knew a lot of people that use RYM and I used it, and then I put this out and people were friends with me, they heard it, and that got some more eyes on it, I guess. And then I think what really was the big thing for us having that happen at all was Anthony Fantano put us in one of his videos for like a top EPs thing, but I'm sure he just found it on RYM because I know he's an RYM user. So that's kind of what did it, because we don't really have, we are definitely more of a band that has people that listen to us not in Oklahoma than, we're not really a local band in that way where it's like, there's people here that like us, but we are not the hometown heroes, really. Like, people don't really give a shit about our band in Oklahoma. So
no one would let us play anywhere.
Yeah, we were getting turned down.
Unable to get shows, for the first, 6 months of our existence to now, it's not that much of a problem. But,
yeah, you can't get shows.
But it's weird because, like...
Well, yeah, now there's no shows at all.
Well, yeah. Well, now it's... Yeah, now everyone's in the same boat. But,
stay tuned. Year 2024.
Sorry, continue.
That said, though...
But yeah, it was...
All of us have been part of the DIY scene here to some form or fashion for
sure.
For 2 decades.
I have lots of friends here with good bands that are like the heavy music scene, and there's like a whole other scene, here too. So I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff happening here for sure.
Yeah, I think for us it was just a weird kind of storm of people in these music communities that are pretty fanatic about sharing music, leaning into it. It also helped that I guess the music we wrote was good enough for people to like it. It probably would be different if we wrote a whole bunch of bad music, but at least it was good enough. And then, these people who are very into sharing new music and stuff, we were a band that just kind of hit those places, Rate Your Music, and
I think it's
different
maybe worth mentioning also that the sort of I think people think we're a little mysterious because our artwork and that kind of element of it surprises people a little bit, and I think that's maybe helped with some of the more viral elements of how people have gotten to get to know us. I don't know, would you guys agree at all with that?
Yeah,
sure.
Like, I thought they were going to be a black metal band. Do it?
Right. Oh, well, this photo, yeah, exactly.
I did think that you were going to be a black metal band, for the record.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
people
on purpose,
do.
though. Like when we were coming up with the art for the first EP, like we kind of wanted to do let's do the art looks like a post-punk album or something, but then we have like a weird black metal logo. I don't know. We wanted to do something like that because I think it is kind of like the weird marriage of like the arty stuff with the super, weird extreme metal scene stuff too. So we kind of wanted to have both of those vibes just in the art that we do also. And I think Sten's right that when you look at our the covers of our EPs, it's kind of hard to tell what type of music it's going to be. Like It's like you're seeing this black metal logo, but then it's framed in this weird way, and it doesn't really have any of the other black metal tropes on there. It's like colorful, and I don't know. It's I like our art. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Those are real signs. That hot dog cancer sign, that's real. That's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stan takes all those
are
pictures.
ever here, you could.
It's like 3 blocks from our house.
It's on Linwood Avenue.
Actually, you can't anymore because the vinyl cover that had like the hot dog cause cancer thing, it like melted off. And now I need to go back and take another picture of it because now it's a moose on roller skates and it says like Family Fun Center, and it's like,
oh no,
yeah.
You should try and take a picture of it and frame it like that to get the exact same angle as the first EP.
I've thought about
we'll like release it as
we'll
like
talk
a
about that later.
Yeah.
other for Remove Your Skin. That's on this place I did walk every day that summer, and that just appeared one day. Like, I mean, because other people are up there all the time, but it's like this kind of this weird place, and with this very strange
religious sign.
Manifesto, on this board. Very.
Another point, I guess going back to the sort of your internet presence, is that both of your releases are Name Your Price on Bandcamp, which I guess, why did you choose to do that? And also, I want to know what your sort of take is on, as an indie band, or as a DIY band, indies and independent, not that you're like out there like Mac DeMarco. No, but like, what as a DIY band, what do you take away from like Soulseek and Trackers and piracy as a positive or a negative?
The reason we went Name Your Price is because we literally never expected anybody to want to hear our band, so we needed to make it as easy as possible. And as far as piracy and that kind of stuff goes, I mean, please, God, just as long as people are listening to it, at the end of the day,
Yeah, it never occurred to me that we would be on Soulseek and stuff like that. That's funny. Somebody downloaded our music on Soulseek, like, hilarious, man.
Yeah,
we've made it, for sure.
The thing about it, too, is
people are legally downloading our music.
You kind of expect, when you make music nowadays, for it to just like get swallowed up in the void of the internet. In fact, that anyone at all has latched onto it is just already, like, to me, that's the demarcation that we've succeeded as far as I'm concerned. There's nowhere to go but up because a handful of people
heard our band.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and I mean, with the way it's like, I don't know, you don't really make money through selling digital albums either. That's not really how you make money in music these days anyways. Like, I have no problem with giving away, like, the music itself. Like, if someone wants to listen to it, anyone is, able to listen to our music for free online. Whether they want to do it, I would like for them to just download it from Bandcamp instead of Soulseek, just because, I mean, you can get it in FLAC on there for free. Like, you might as well just get it through Bandcamp, because then at least, we have it in our, like, analytics or whatever. But, like, if people want to pirate it, it doesn't matter, like, because for bands like us, we're not making, like, really any money from this. So it's just through physical sales of, like, vinyl or tapes or shirts and stuff. So it's like the music itself, of course, it's fine if people, if people are putting it up on, like, a torrent tracker or on Soulseek or whatever, like, go for it. If that's just going to get more people to listen to it, and then that person who got it is like, oh, I want a Chat Pile shirt now or whatever, like, I mean, that's how, most bands in our kind of realm, like the DIY bands that are, on the internet, like, that's how any of us make any money from this, is through, people buying physical stuff and
and there's no expectations within the band to make money. If that happens,
yeah,
cool. But I mean, we never ever went into this thinking. We went into this thinking we would just hemorrhage money, honestly.
Yeah,
and now
we did for a while.
Yeah, and we did for a long time, and now we're vaguely breaking even. So what else can you hope for, really?
That's cool. I like that. For once.
Yeah. I definitely,
people like our band, and that's fun. That's good times.
Yeah, I definitely like just having the music itself be as easy as possible for people to be able to hear. Like if you know, so I understand for like bigger labels, you know, bands like big bands on big labels that get mad about piracy and stuff. I guess leaks are probably more of a problem than piracy itself, you know, because it always sucks to get stuff leaked because, you know, you should be able to put the art you're putting out on your own terms.
I'd be mortified if a bunch of people heard the unfinished versions of
demos. Yeah.
It'd be mortifying. So I can empathize with that.
But yeah, I I really stick by having it out as name your price on Bandcamp, and, you know, just putting it out on the streaming services, and, you know, because the goal isn't really to make money, because that seems like a fool's errand. You know, I don't think we would be playing the type of music we play if the goal was to make money, really. You know,
what music?
Probably could be a little bit more broad.
What would you be playing if you're trying to make money?
Well, I was in an indie rock band.
I don't know how to make money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Please let me know, because I was in an indie rock band here in town that was awful, and like the front man's main goal was to make the music to be like licensed music and shit. And it sucked, man. Like it didn't work. Guess what? No one liked it. Like there was no fans of that band at all. It's just, I don't know. Doing anything like that with the intention of getting big just seems like insane.
You're getting pale, I think.
Get into the church scene around here to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
that's totally
a great
true.
idea.
We could be a worship band. That's what we could do.
That would rock. Yeah.
With all,
I do like
sure.
that. Oh, sorry.
No. Please continue.
Oh, no. I just wanted to add, though, in a general sense, with the internet and, like, the old label system breaking down, I think it's great for representation. It's like everybody can do it now, basically. Yeah. And you're seeing all these art. It's exploded, you know. Yeah, it's more competition, but, like, you know, like, it's if you like music, you know, it's like an embarrassment of riches, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
if
all
you're
sorts of different people get to make music and have their music and stuff.
It's almost overwhelming, the amount. As a music fan, I can't. People every day. Oh, have you heard such and such? Have you heard this? It's like, dude, there are not enough hours in the day for me to keep up with all the incredible game-changing music that is happening right now. I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, in 20 years, the dust will settle and people will be mining this era of, you know, music.
Absolutely.
Endless classics, you know?
Yeah.
With all of this increased mobility of your music, what is your sort of... Do you have any thoughts about, I guess, Raygun? If you are putting some, like, amount of personal... I don't know if even if the stories themselves aren't personal to what's occurring in your span or your life, you know, there is that sort of I get the impression that there's that sort of personal element that goes into all of your vocal performances. How personal are the vocal performances to you as a human being? I
don't know. I hope I'm doing a good job. You know, I'm trying to always, when I make music. And I was in, like, an indie rock band for, like, a decade that went under several names, but it was typically the core members were the same, you know. And then I've done solo stuff, and I've been making music for, like, I don't know, over 20 years now. And the goal all the time, for me, is just to make something that I want to. So when I'm doing the vocals and stuff like that, if I don't like it, then I don't want it. That's not the take, you know. Like, I want to work on it until I like it. And like I said, I empathize. I've been through trauma in my life, and I know people have been through trauma, and I'm an empathetic person. But I really enjoy crime novels, and I like these. Rat Boy is based on a movie called Star Time. That's like just this movie about this weird dude. So So yeah, that's mainly and I am glad people finally agree with me. They like, because I always my stuff. I think my stuff is good. I wouldn't release it if I didn't like it. I would delete it in the night, never be able to find it again if I didn't like it. I would never release it to begin with if I didn't like it. So that's just where I'm.
Ray, I think another part of that question too was, how do you feel about being that vulnerable and having a lot of people?
I don't care.
That?
I'm an artist. I've been doing this forever. I mean, I have lots of other albums that are far more personal about real things that have happened in my life and reflections on things that have happened. You know, like I have like noise albums. I have lots of different things that. So this is. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not hard. It's fun. I like doing it.
Yeah. There's always some level of, you're always putting yourself out there, even if it's like lyrics or music that are directly, something related to your life or a story. Like, no matter what, like, when you're releasing something, unless it's like literally a joke and you're just putting it out as a goof, like if you're putting something out seriously, there's always going to be some part of it where you're like, I think this is good enough for other people to listen to, I guess. And there's always just a part of that has, some self-conscious energy to it. But I mean, that's just part of making any type of art thing.
Over as a performer. Yeah. I mean, I know you think like sometimes you're doing a guitar like, oh, will people like this? Is this stupid? Like as a musician,
I'm very self-critical.
You guys think about that stuff. So I do too. It's the same thing. But like we work out something that we like, we release it, and it's good. And we're like, we listen back and we're like, hey, this is good. So I mean, that's all it is.
You can kind of just feel in your bones if it's right or not. Because if you're okay with it, then more than likely other people will connect with it in some way, I feel like. That's maybe not always true.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think that at the very least, that sort of vulnerability, or I guess vulnerability either in a lyrical or emotional context, or even in a musical context as a guitarist, as an instrumental performer, I think that is something that will make people more easily connect. At the very least, personally, I'm not trying to project my emotions onto your art, but no, I think that sort of I don't know, personally, whenever I talk to an artist and they make vulnerable art, I get the impression that it's usually easier to have to garner a fan base because of that sort of thing. I don't know if that's something that you've ever thought about.
I know I personally have, because I think, honestly, Randy's vocal that we have... I mean, at the end of the day, the reason that people are attracted to Chat Pile is because of Ray Gun's vocals,
I mean, I like our instrumentals and stuff, but that's the thing that is.
I disagree.
Not to just get into a praise fest.
There's about 90 seconds of music where I'm not singing on Dallas Beltway, our top played song.
You do have to you got some great riffs there. You got to give yourself.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't work without the groove.
I do think.
That's just like, I tell you what.
I do think though that with the vocal style and the type of lyric, it's like it's all together. When you add that vocal style on top of what we're doing, I think that's what makes it novel, and I think that's what makes it something that like people have kind of clicked with. Is that it? If we were making the exact same instrumental music and I was just screaming the entire time over it or something. I don't know. I don't think
no one would care, dude.
I don't think anyone would care, or at least not as much.
It would get lost in the mix for sure, because there's just so many bands that do that. And I love lots of bands like that, but I think
that's like mainly what you listen to.
Yeah, exactly. But I think in order to stand out from the very, very saturated crowd of bands like that is to, I don't know, it's like we were talking about having something that's really vulnerable to latch onto. I mean, even me, like, it's weird to be in a band where, like, I hear my own singer and I have an emotional response. Like, I've never really had that before, And again, I think that's how you know maybe that what you're doing is at least on the right path.
Well,
Yeah.
Moving in a different direction just because we're running out of time here. Quickly, I wanted to ask what, clearly you've all dabbled in indie rock at some point. What is an art, a form of music that you take as like a fiber of your person as a musician that is completely like on the opposite side of the musical spectrum, be it I don't know, pop, indie rock, hip hop, any sort of, I know you mentioned like horrorcore before.
Yeah. I'd like to hear Ron and Ray answer this, because they are definitely like, they listen to mostly stuff that sounds nothing like our band, you know?
Yeah, I tend to listen to a lot of
Say it.
a lot of Fish.
Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
A
You
lot of
cut out
Fish.
Oh.
Listen to a lot of Fish. A lot of electronic music.
I also listen to a lot of Fish and electronic music.
Also like a lot of dub, like reggae kind of stuff, and
Yes.
yeah.
I also do at some point. I know we've kind of joked around about it. I'd like to get some more dub influence in there sometime. Like I would love to, you know, like on Repetition by Unwound. There's just like that one dub song just in the middle of there. You know, I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, totally.
I'm the most boring of everybody, because the stuff I listen to, 99% of it kind of just sounds like Chat Pile.
Yeah, but we need you to, you know. He's the Leonardo of Chat Pile and Ninja Turtle.
The most different thing for me is I listen to a lot of pop music. I listen to a lot of synth pop and stuff like that, which, you know, there's not really any of that in our music, but
you know what I like is dang it, this song called Black Dog by Arlo Parks. I think I've listened to that song like a billion times recently.
Yeah,
very good.
Band that just broke up, but Black Dresses has been one of my favorite things lately. Mm-hmm. I love Black Dresses. It's a shame that they've broken up because of terrible internet people just relentlessly bullying them. But
surprise! It's going to happen to us someday. I just know that there will be a Chat Pile backlash. People will be mean. Who's the artist that you think connects all of us? Is it Sonic Youth? Is that the band that
I got Sonic Youth vibes.
Nirvana?
Yeah, it's Sonic Youth or Nirvana. That's the one band that at least the two bands that all four of us listen to.
Because I respect Korn, but I don't really like myself as a kid.
Yeah, I've always been more Team Deftones, you know.
I like the Deftones too. I definitely. I mean, do you like Perubu? I like Perubu, like right at the top there, huh? If you listen to like on Terminal Tower, there's Humor Me Live. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm going for.
Sure.
In Shell.
We're just about out of time. Is there anything else that you want to say to the great people of New York City, its surrounding metropolitan area, and WNYU.org?
Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter.
Stay safe. Black Lives Matter. Wash your hands. Wear a mask.
Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Go vote. Maybe do an absentee ballot. Stay safe. Don't get sick as best you can.
God damn, I think about like the heat that you guys are enduring. We are enduring heat, but